So the first set of sounds we have are A, I, U, E, and O, from our letters A, I, U, E, and O. So I'm going to show you what those look like. We're going to start with A, or A. So the first sound is A, and it looks like this. Actually, I'm going to draw that a little bit bigger so you can see. And watch how I write this, because you want to write this the same way, the same stroke order that I'm using. So, so follow along with the stroke order too. So, A, okay? So how are we going to memorize that this sound is A? Well, it's pretty easy, because if you look here, there's actually a hidden letter A. So capital A is hidden right here. See that? So whenever you see this, look for this right here, and you can tell that that's A. There's going to be another sound that looks like this that's actually O. So we're going to figure out how to discriminate between those two later when we get to it. So the next sound is E. So I'm going to leave these up here actually. E, U, E. Oh, so we already covered A. So next we're on E. So E looks like this. So you have a long stroke and a shorter one. Actually, it's kind of hard to see. So a longer one and a shorter one, okay? So how are you going to memorize this? Well, this one's actually easy too, because it actually looks like the letter lowercase I also. So if you imagine you have like the beginning of a slanted I, like in a backwards italics, normally the dot would be here, but if you can imagine, the dot just got knocked off and it fell here, okay? So maybe you can imagine this as like an arrow and there's pointing to the dot where it fell. Something like that, okay? So let's E. That's how you can memorize that. So we've covered A and E. Now we're going to cover U. U's pretty simple. So you have this this line at the top, like a little sideways slant, and then you have what looks like just a tilted U. So that one's really easy too, because so far the first three actually look like the letters in English, or it's actually called Romaji. Romaji. So it's just basically from the Roman lettering that we use in English, okay? Romaji. So we've covered A, I, and U. Now we're on to E. So E looks like this. Now I don't have a clever mnemonic for this, but you can just kind of remember that this is the odd one out for the first set. There's actually a really cool mnemonic that from the website Tofugu that I can edit the video and put the picture in here somewhere to show you. He draws a pelican out of this. He kind of like draws the head, and here's like there's like the mouth or the beak or whatever, and this is like the wing or the body. It's really cool. So I'll show that picture because I can't draw it, and I'm not even gonna try. But that's it. Let me draw that again because I kind of drew it sloppily. Okay. Let's do O, the last one of the first set of sounds. So O looks like this. See, that looks remarkably similar to A, so I'm going to draw A right next to it. Oops. Actually, that shouldn't connect. Let me do that again. Okay, so A is like that. Okay, so again, A has the A hidden in it right here, and O does not. But O does have like an O shape right here. So that's how you can memorize them. So you have the O shape here, and the capital A shape here. So A and O. So there you go. That's the first 5 sounds, or syllables, in Japanese writing system of Hiragana. So let's go on to the next set. So the next set we have, we're going to still use the same vowels. Japanese just uses only these vowels. So that gets pretty easy. So ka, ki, ku, ke, and ko. So again, it's using all the same vowels, so you don't have to worry about the pronunciation of the vowels. You just add the consonants in front of it. In Japanese, syllables always end in a vowel sound, except for one, which is n. That's the only consonant ending to any of the sounds, and that's special, okay? We'll get to that. That's actually at the very end. Everything else ends in a vowel sound, always, and always starts with a consonant, except for the first set. These are the only ones that don't have a consonant before the vowel. Okay, so ka. So we're going to go to ka. Ka is like this. So the way that I memorize ka, I actually think of it as somebody doing karate. So let me draw this. So you can imagine this is kind of like a guy standing there. This is his leg. Let me just draw this again, actually. Draw it a little bit differently. So, ka, right? If you extend this out a little bit, this kind of looks like the guy's left leg or back leg and his front leg. This is like his knee. It's bent. And this is like, I imagine that this is like his black belt, like swaying in the wind or whatever. Let me draw up here. Give him like arms or something. I'm a terrible drawer, so you'll have to forgive me. So he's putting up his dukes right here. And then there's his head. I ran out of room. So basically, see that? So he's basically standing on his back leg and he's lifting up his other leg to like kick a block or something, or like a board or something that they kick in karate to break, you know what I mean? So that's how I think of it. I think ka as in karate. So I'll write those again, don't worry. So again, ka. Okay? Ka. Next, we have ki. This one's actually really easy. We do 2 lines, and we come like this. And the reason it's easy is because it actually looks like a key. Let me draw that again so it'll look like a key. So, if you draw like extend this out to be like a circle, and this is out here, you can kind of imagine that this is like one of those like old skeleton keys, right? That opens one of those like dungeon doors. So these are like the little things that stick out on the side that actually open the lock. So that's how you memorize key, because it actually kind of looks like a key. And most of the time, key won't actually be written like this. This loop will actually be broken, so it'll look actually like this. So let me write it like that and show you how to do it. So you do the 2 lines, and then you go there and you like make the circle, but you stop, and then you come over a little bit and you kind of fill in where it would have landed if you had erased it. Okay, so that's ki. So we have ka and ki. Next we're on to ku. Ku is really easy. It's like that. So how can you remember ku? Well, you can think of this as the beak of a cuckoo bird. Okay, so we'd sing cuckoo. So this is his mouth open. So I'll draw a little music note here. Actually, that would be like that. But yeah, so ku. Okay? So it's a cuckoo bird saying cuckoo. Easy to remember. Now we have ke. This one's another cool mnemonic. So ke. And you probably think, how are you going to memorize this? Well, this actually looks like a keg. So if I fill in the lines here, like this. Actually, that looks terrible. Let me try that again. I'll get it, don't worry. So this is K. And let me draw it again with the picture. Okay, so if I round out the bottom here, and I round out the top, you see how it kind of looks like a keg with the open top here? It's kind of a stretch, but you can kind of see where the keg came from, right? So here's the left one, right here, and then here is the right part. So, and again, I'll draw it over this. Add an extra line. Okay, it's a keg. So it's kind of a stretch, but to me it works. So ke, as in keg. Now we have ko. Ko is actually just 2. Oh, it's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can adjust. Come on, focus. There we go. Ko. So it's just two little squiggles, or two little lines. They're actually bent. Sometimes you'll see them bent outward like that. Sometimes they'll be bent kind of inward, and sometimes they'll just be like straight lines. But it's Ko, okay? Actually, you have to be careful with this, because this actually, the straight lines, this is another letter, ni, in katakana. So you have to be careful. Sometimes you'll see it written both ways, and you just have to be aware that there's two that look very similar. So again, Ko. And how you can memorize this is actually, you can think of two koi fish. So, koi. So I can't draw with anything, but you can imagine that this is a koi fish here, and this is another koi fish swimming here. So let's see what I can do here. Drawing them like goldfish. So yeah, koi, okay? Koi fish. Sometimes you'll see it written just like that, and other times it'll have that little mark there for kind of like stylization from the old way when you would use the ink pen and it would kind of like drip or drag as you bring the ink over here. So that's why you'll see these little, I forget what they're called. I'll put an annotation once I look up the word of what this little stylized marker is called. Okay, so we did the first two sets, a, I, U, E, O, and kaki, ku, ke, ko.